Starting in at number 10, we have Lea Michele. Back in 2020, former Glee star Lea Michele got called out by a cast member on Twitter after Michele posted a tweet saying, "Black Lives Matter." Actor Samantha Maria Ware was quickly to respond by saying Michele's tweet was hypocritical and claimed the star made her first television gig a living hell, and the whole experience made her question her career in Hollywood. Shortly after the tweet, other Glee actors such as Alex Newell, Amber Riley, and Heather Morris came out to say the star was unpleasant to work with. A few days later, Michele responded by tweeting a lengthy apology saying, "When she tweeted the other day, it was meant to be a show of support to our friends and neighbors and communities of color during this difficult time. But the responses I received to what I posted have made me also focus specifically on how my own behavior towards fellow cast members was perceived by them." Many perceived Lee's statement as a non-apology, and in response, Ware told Variety that all Lee's apology did was affirm that she hasn't learned anything. Coming in at number 9, we have Chrissy Teigen. In 2019, Chrissy Teigen made a joke about her mom and how she kept losing her $150 AirPods. The star in a tweet said, "My mom treats her AirPods like they're disposable and buys a few a month. She says that they would be easier to not lose if they had a cord." Fans were quick to point out that how much privilege it is to have these devices and it shouldn't be rubbed in people's faces. Chrissy responded with an apology saying that it was meant to be a joke and it came off super tone deaf and icky. The star also went on to say that even though she doesn't always do or say the right thing, she hates disappointing her fans, and she also mentioned that she's deeply sorry and promised to do better. Luckily for the star, all was forgiven and she was able to move on from the scandal. If you guys are liking this video so far, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming in at number 8, we have Vanessa Hudgens. In March of 2020, Vanessa Hudgens went live on Instagram to address the pandemic. In her clip, she said, "Even if everybody gets it, like yeah, people are gonna die, which is terrible, but it's unavoidable." The results of this post sent her fans in a frenzy as they began to lash back at the star. A few days later, Vanessa tweeted, "I realized my words were insensitive and not all appropriate for the situation in our country and the world that's happening right now. This has been a huge wake-up call for the significance of my words, now more than ever. Me sending safe wishes to everyone to stay safe and healthy during these crazy times." Unfortunately for Vanessa, many of her fans were still unimpressed with the star, mainly because she failed to apologize for saying it was okay for people to die during the outbreak.
Halfway number 5, Chase Stokes. Breakout star of Netflix's Outer Banks, Chase Stokes, had to issue an apology after past posts resurfaced of him being derogatory to the LGBTQ+ community, people with disabilities, and people of color. But people were annoyed when it seemed like he was trying to blame the whole thing on the hackers that leaked the information. The statement read, "I posted insensitive tweets. My Facebook has been hacked countless times. The picture isn't even of me or anybody I know. Again, I'm incredibly sorry, I really am. I hope you guys see what I'm currently doing and how I'm continuing to do the right thing by being respectful in today's climate. This doesn't excuse my words, nor am I excusing myself." Then he ended up getting his Twitter back, and the offensive tweets as well as the apology were deleted. So little sus there. And at number 4, Kanye West. Kanye's apology was a little different than the other ones on this list, and that was because instead of apologizing to the public, he was publicly apologizing to his wife, Kim Kardashian. A few months ago, Kanye went on a few tweeting sprees where he said disrespectful things about countless celebrities, including his wife and other members of the Kardashian clan. And around the same time, he also had a campaign rally where he said Kim was thinking of terminating her first pregnancy with her daughter, North. In the days after, photos were released of Kim and Kanye fighting in a car, with Kim crying. As a response to everything, he tweeted out an apology to his wife, saying in the tweet, "I would like to apologize to my wife Kim for going public with something that was a private matter. I did not cover her like she's covered me. To Kim, I want to say I know I hurt you. Please forgive me. Thank you for always being there for me." And even though he apologized, he can never really take back the fact that now everyone knows about that secret, including his daughter one day, which is definitely pretty messed up.
Number 3, we have Lily Reinhart. In 2020, Lily Reinhart tried to bring awareness to Black Lives Matter movement and Breonna Taylor's death in an unconventional way. The star went on to post not so flattering picture with a statement, "Now that my body has gotten your attention, Breonna Taylor's murderers have still not been arrested, and the star demanded justice. The star received a lot of backlash for her tone deaf post, and the actor quickly apologized by saying, "I've always tried to use my platform for good and speak out against things that are more important to me. I also can admit that I make mistakes, and I made a mistake with my caption. It was never my intent to insult anybody, and I'm truly sorry for those who were offended." As Lily's overall apology was good itself, many fans thought the Riverdale actress should have known better than to make light of any situation with a provocative photo. And if we can learn anything from this incident, it would be just that. Number 2, we have Kat Von D. Over the years, Kat Von D has been accused of many things, such as being an anti. However, in 2019, the star hit YouTube to deny all of these claims. In an 11-minute video posted, the makeup artist explained that the rumors started in 2008 when an angry male co-star tried to get her spin-off of LA Inc. canceled. As for the claims, the star said the rumor started when she was pregnant and posted a now deleted photo with the caption, "Plan to raise my baby vegan and vaccination free." She went on to say that she's not an but a first-time mother, and that at the time of the post, she didn't have enough information to back up her decision. While Kat hoped the 11-minute video would put rumors to rest, fans remained still unimpressed with the star, as they claimed she didn't actually deny any of these rumors, but rather spread more information instead of apologizing. At number 1, we have Logan Paul. Now, Logan Paul over the years has made some pretty questionable choices that have sent viewers into multiple frenzies. However, in 2018, when Paul went on a trip to Japan, he visited the forest known as forest. The star, for whatever reason, thought it'd be a good idea to film hiking through the forest, and when him and his team came across the victim, rather than turning off the camera, they decided to continue to film and cracked a few jokes such as, "Did we just find a dead person in forest?" And this was supposed to be a fun blog. Many fans were quick to lash out at the star for his disrespectful behavior, which led to the star to delete the footage and release an apology. But many fans were left disappointed with the apology video, as it stated the star still remained ignorant and insecure. In the video, Paul explains that he didn't make the video to get views. He did it because he thought he could make a positive ripple on the internet. He stated he only intended to wear awareness for and thought his video could save a life. Yeah, I don't think any of us bought that statement, and if anything, all Paul's video did was misguide and shed light on a harmful situation. Hopefully we won't see any more harmful videos come to his YouTube anytime soon.
Number 10, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The NBA legend seemed to take Will Smith at his word when the actor apologized for slapping comedian Chris Rock at the Academy Awards. Quote, "There is no part of me that thinks that that was the right way to behave in that moment. There's no part of me that thinks that the optimal way to handle a feeling of disrespect or insults." Abdul-Jabbar voiced his support for Will Smith and made it clear that he doesn't believe Smith is just trying to save his own skin. Quote, "I'm going to look at his words and accept that they are sincere and honest. I'm going to believe that after a lengthy period of soul-searching, family rebuilding, and moral prioritizing, he was ready to face a shocked and disapproving world, one that may no longer be rooting for him." The NBA star seemed to have a lot of sympathy for the actor, as he later added that he is rooting for him. It does look like he did a full 180 though, considering that Abdul-Jabbar was among one of the first people to criticize him following the incident. So while some might see the apology video as a shallow attempt to rehabilitate his image, at least Will has a strong supporter on his side. Number 9, Jessie Woo. The Haitian-American comedian, media personality, and singer had some of her own thoughts about Will's new video. She said that her favorite part was his clarification of his longtime wife Jada Pinkett Smith's involvement with the incident. Quote, "My favorite part of Will Smith's apology is him making it clear that Jada never told him to do anything to Chris after his joke." Jessie went on to call out the many people who built a following off of blaming Jada and targeting her with their hatred for something that Will did. She claims that people are desperate to make her the villain in the situation. In his video, Will was asked whether or not his wife had asked her husband to do anything everything after visibly rolling her eyes at Chris Rock's joke, before he stormed off the stage and slapped him across the face. But the actor clarified the speculation and simply said no, that he made the choice on his own from his own experiences and history with Chris Rock. In fact, he said that Jada had nothing to do with it. So while a key aspect of his video that's driving the social divide is whether or not Will was a victim or a perpetrator of trauma, most people have agreed that the shot of Jada giving Will the look was not an indication of her encouraging him in any way. Number 8. Dr. Shola Mos Shogbememu, the lawyer, politician, and women's rights activist, called Will's apology raw and human, as she was clearly able to empathize with what the actor was trying to say. Quote, "Will Smith apology. I felt it. It's raw and human. I was very disappointed by his actions that night, and it looks like he doesn't understand it too, but makes no excuses." But while Dr. Shola was appreciative of Will's public gesture, she also said that Chris Rock's decision to stay away from the actor and take the time he needed was something to be respected. Dr. Shola is no stranger to voicing her opinion when it matters. In fact, she recently slammed Piers Morgan after he tried to defend the royal family against racism allegations after the Oprah interview with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. While she was on Good Morning Britain, the activist slammed Piers for defending the royal family and calling the interview an absolute disgraceful betrayal. So after going through all that, it's no surprise that she thinks the apology was genuine and is able to see it from a more well-rounded perspective.
At number 7, we have Hailey Bieber. In July of 2020, a TikTok video posted by a restaurant hostess, Julia Carolyn, went viral after she spilled the tea on how Hailey Bieber treated staff at a New York location. Julia went on to say that she met the model a handful of times, and on every occasion she met her, she was not nice. She did note that she really did want to like her, but had to give the star 3.5 out of 10. Ouch. Just after the video was posted, Hailey came into the comments and said, "Just came across this video and wanted to say, I'm sorry, I never wanted to give you bad vibes or attitudes, that just never was my intention." Luckily for Hailey, fans really appreciated the time she took to respond to the post and noted it's really rare for a celebrity to apologize to a normal person. Number 6, we have Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon was able to avoid celebrity scandal up until 2013, when she and her husband were pulled over for suspicious of driving under the influence for driving in the wrong lane. In a captured video taken by police, you can hear the actor saying things like, "Do you know my name?" and "You're about to find out who I am." Reese remained silent on the issue until she went on Good Morning America, saying, "It was like one of those nights when we went out for dinner, had one too many of glasses, and thought it was okay to drive home." She then claimed that her husband and her were sorry it happened, and that they knew better than that, and that it would never happen again. Fans were definitely on the fence when it came to this scandal, as there's always better options to arrive home safely. So remember, just before you go out, plan ahead by ordering a taxi, Uber, or asking a sober friend to pick you up. Number 5, we have Florence Pugh. Back in June of 2020, Florence Pugh apologized after a past post resurfaced of the actor wearing things like cornrows and cultural attire. As fans were quickly to call out the Little Woman actor, Florence responded by saying, "Stupid doesn't even cut it. I was uneducated, I was unread," and she went on to say that she can't dismiss the actions she brought into years ago, but she believed those who are blind to such things must acknowledge them and recognize them as our faults, our ignorance, and our white privilege, and that she apologized for taking her this long to realize that. Luckily, fans were glad to see the star recognized her own faults, and they were proud to see that she took the time to reflect on her past. Number 4, we have Addison Rae. In 2020, TikTok star had to take a week-long break from social media after it was discovered she reposted an All Lives Matter video from 4 years ago. In the video she reposted, it highlighted that Black Lives Matter movement was a cult. This obviously didn't sit well with fans, and over the star's week break from social media, they went on a frenzy to tell her exactly why it didn't sit well with them. When Addison finally returned to social media, she posted an apology tweet saying that she owes everybody an apology. The star stated that she shouldn't have posted a video 4 years ago, and that all lives cannot matter until Black lives do. The star then went on to say that the Black community was and continues to be oppressed and damaged by the systematic racism. Fans still remain to be unimpressed with the star, mainly because of how long it took her to come out with an apology, and for the fact why she remained silent for the 8 days. The star was actually spotted hanging out with the Kardashians.
Number 3. Justin Tinsley. The American journalist specializing in hip-hop, pop culture, and sports took to Twitter to express his support for Will Smith following his new video apology. How you feel about the Will Smith apology video is completely up to you, but him saying disappointing people is my central trauma, that resonated with me on a different level. It appears that Will's apology really hit home for the journalist. And he believed that it was a genuine way for the actor to say sorry for the incident that took place 4 months ago. In the 5-minute long video, Will Smith took his time to apologize to Chris Rock as he shared the current dynamic between the two. With Rock still not ready to talk to the actor about the incident, Smith made it clear that he will stay put and wait for Rock to find his footing, and whatever he does, he will be there to listen. He also clarified that Jada did not direct him to get on the stage and take action. The rash decision was entirely his own doing. Number 2. Cherie Zampino. Will Smith's first wife and mother to his son Trey Smith took to Instagram to express her love and support for her ex-husband following the release of his apology video that still seems to have the internet really divided. She addressed her comment directly to Will, saying, quote, "You are so loved. My prayer is that the grace you've extended to so many will be given to you." It's good to see that she's publicly supporting the actor now, considering that she's been silent for quite some time following the incident. During the infamous slap, Zampino was watching alongside her co-stars from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills at an Oscars viewing party. An insider source close to the star claimed that after the altercation, Cherie looked embarrassed and reportedly skedaddled from the viewing party, which was brimming with other stars, probably in an effort to avoid being questioned by the other celebrities. But on Instagram, she kept things positive and showed her support by posting a photo of herself with Will, which was taken after the awards ceremony, with the caption, "Epic night, congratulations again, when one wins, we all win, #family first." And coming in at number 1, Tyrese Gibson. In a post shared on Instagram, Tyrese Gibson reacted positively to Will's apology and had nothing but praise for him, even referring to the actor as his hero. He wrote a heartfelt comment on the Instagram post of the video, quote, "We all just watched a video with all heart that would have never been uploaded from anyone on earth like this but Will Smith. After 3 months, as so much other stuff has happened in the world, he's been paused and put in mental, emotional, and traumatic prison." Tyrese went on to say that when you actually care for people and how you affect them with your words and your choices, you lose a lot of sleep over those tiny mistakes. The actor and R&B singer rallied behind his friend. Quote, "Will Smith, if you see this message, big bro, the real ones out here love you and have never stopped loving you because we know that you are human." He added words of encouragement and support, saying that he has never stopped loving everyone caught up in the incident, including Chris Rock and his family, as well as the Smiths. But Tyrese also called out the hypocrisy and claimed that Will only broke the internet because of who he was, and insisted that if anyone else did it, quote, "it would have been in the blogs for 4 days and been over," which is a really interesting take.
Starting off at number 10, we have Ellen DeGeneres. This is one that you should all know about, but I'll give you the lowdown anyways. Ellen's perfect castle of niceness came crashing down earlier this year when reports started to surface that she was incredibly two-faced, and she was actually way meaner in real life than she portrayed on her show. Then it got even worse when reports came out that her show was incredibly toxic too, and she allowed terrible behavior to happen to the crew of the show. After months of laying low, Ellen opened her 18th season with a long-awaited apology. Part of the apology said, quote, "I learned that things happened here that never should have happened. I take that very seriously and I want to say I am so sorry to the people who were affected. I know that I'm in a position of privilege and power, and I realize that with that comes responsibility, and I take responsibility for what happens at my show." And although her adoring fans accepted the apology, tons of people did not, and they didn't like how she reinforced the idea that she really just wasn't aware of what was happening when people think that she did. Also, make sure to like the video if you haven't already. And at number 9, Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel was forced to apologize after clips resurfaced of him in blackface while acting in a comedy sketch. He addressed the claims in a long statement where he starts off saying that he was reluctant to address the scandal because he knew it would be used as a political tool to undermine his political beliefs. Adding, quote, "That delay was a mistake. There is nothing more important to me than your respect, and I apologize to those who were genuinely hurt or offended by the makeup I wore or the words that I spoke." He continued by giving context that when he was portraying the character of NBA player Karl Malone, he only thought of portraying him for his personality, not his race. And although the apology was accepted by some, it was criticized heavily for the political tones that were unnecessarily included. And at number 8, Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot made the first quarantine blunder when her and tons of other Hollywood elites decided to make a video singing to Imagine to give us all hope through the tough times of quarantine. But instead of giving us hope, they gave us all cringe. And not only was it cringy, it was also really tone deaf to the people struggling while celebrities are in their million-dollar mansions. And even though it got a lot of heat, Gal Gadot did not apologize. In an interview with Vanity Fair, Gadot addressed it though, saying, quote, "Sometimes, you try and do a good deed, and it's just not the right good deed. I had nothing but good intentions, and it came from the best place, and I just wanted to send light and love to the world. But yeah, I started it, and I can only say that I meant to do something good and pure, and it didn't transcend. I just came to the conclusion, I do me, you do you. And I'd rather not have you liking me at this moment than not saying my truth." And even though I get what she is trying to say, just admitting that it was tone deaf wouldn't really have been like a bad idea.
Number 7, Jamie Foxx. The Oscar-winning actor expressed his support for his longtime friend by commenting on an Instagram post of Will's apology video. Jamie said, quote, "Love you bro, you're still that young man from Philly that we fell in love with a long time ago." He then went on to say that Will's true fans have never stopped loving him, and that they are with him through the good, the bad, and the indifferent. He ended the post optimistically by saying that he looks forward to seeing Will and Chris patch things up between them and become friends again. It's good to see that Jamie Foxx has chosen to support Will and accept his apology, but it's funny that he's helped out the comedian Dave Chappelle in a similar incident that occurred this year. That's right, in May, he reportedly helped Dave Chappelle fight off a man who rushed the stage and tackled the comedian during a stand-up set at the Hollywood Bowl as a part of the Netflix Is a Joke festival. According to the Associated Press, security guards also chased and overpowered the attacker. The man who tackled him was later taken away in an ambulance before Chris Rock took the stage, jokingly asking if the man was Will Smith, who just slapped Rock on the stage at the Oscars in March. Gotta love the parallels there. Number 6, Billy Porter. The American actor, singer, and writer was a guest on The View, and he discussed Will Smith's latest apology video for the Oscar slap that occurred earlier that year. Porter praised Will for not blaming the incident on anyone but himself and taking accountability for his own actions. Quote, "It's nice to see that it's no longer the devil made me do it. It's not the devil's fault, it's your fault. To take responsibility for that is the right thing to do." Porter implied that now, with all things considered, he wouldn't judge him for just having a bad day. But his attitude towards Smith was a little different earlier that year. While speaking to Entertainment Tonight, Porter gave a thoughtful and forceful condemnation of the incident, likening Smith's behavior to unchecked misogyny, and said that it's upsetting and really disheartening when a version of masculinity shows up like that. He concluded his comments by saying Will's example of toxic masculinity has only made Porter more determined to be himself. And I will be the black queen that I am, because if that is the representation of what masculinity is supposed to be, I don't need it. So he's definitely changed his tune over the past 4 months. Number 5, Janetta Elzie. The American civil rights activist and organizer of We the Protesters was looking at Will's apology from a totally different angle. She wants to know if Jada Pinkett Smith ever got the apologies that she deserved in the incident. She tweeted, quote, "Did Jada get an apology from Chris Rock? Just wondering." She then went on to point out the ridiculousness of these so-called YouTube apologies, even calling the whole thing unnecessary. Quote, "Celebrity beef is different. Why is Will apologizing to Chris Rock, who is yachting in Croatia with Matthew McConaughey? That man ain't thinking about that damn slap." And Janetta is not the only person who feels that Jada Pinkett Smith is the one who deserves an apology. In fact, many people are now starting to feel that it's unfair that Chris Rock never apologized to her for the tasteless joke he made in the first place. One Twitter user wrote that Will Smith is being compelled to apologize to Chris Rock, while the very idea of Chris Rock apologizing to Jada would likely get you laughed out of the room. It's interesting when you look at it that way. Number 4, Fraser MacDonald. The English YouTuber and commentator better known as I Never has put his 2 cents in about the whole situation and looks at it from his own standpoint. While he condemned the Oscar slap in the first place, he was also able to sympathize with Will Smith. Quote, "I don't agree with Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, but his apology to me is clearly so genuine and sincere. I'm also not really surprised the man slapped like he did. He has been constantly berated hated by the media for years now and made a mockery whenever he was vulnerable and sad. Fraser went on to say that we can either agree or disagree with Smith's actions at the Oscars, but he condemns how much context was removed from the build-up to the incident, and he hates how everyone believes the actor is now this awful human being. Right after the slap occurred, the YouTuber was quick to criticize the excessive backlash that the actor received. It's crazy how they're doing more to punish Will Smith than they did to any Hollywood predator. To be fair, Will explained why he didn't mention Rock in his Best Actor acceptance speech and claimed that he was unable to focus in the moment and said everything went fuzzy, which is probably just down to the adrenaline of the situation.
And at number 3, Alison Roman. Celebrity chef Alison Roman got herself into quite a pickle when she decided to publicly shame Chrissy Teigen. In an interview, Roman said that she was horrified by Teigen's cooking empire and accused people of running a content farm for her, saying in the piece, "That horrifies me and it's not something that I ever want to do. I don't aspire to that." But like, who's laughing now? Because she's making a ton of money, referring to Chrissy Teigen. Roman also called out Marie Kondo, who she said just sold out immediately. After the comments went viral online, Teigen responded by calling the comments a huge bummer. But after the backlash got too much to bear, Roman made a formal apology on Instagram, writing, "I used their names disparagingly to try and distinguish myself, which I absolutely do not have an excuse for. It was stupid, careless, and insensitive. I need to learn and respect the difference between being unfiltered and honest versus being uneducated and flippant." And at number 2, Evangeline Lilly. Evangeline Lilly also got lumped into the mix of celebrities that made quarantine blunders in March when she made an Instagram post saying that her life basically wasn't affected by the virus. They're suggesting that she wasn't social distancing herself from others and that her freedoms are more important than a pandemic. The actress was quickly and widely criticized. And 10 days later, on March 26th, Lilly apologized for her dismissive, arrogant message, saying in a statement, "I thought I was infusing calm into the hysteria. I can see now that I was projecting my own fears into an already fearful and traumatic situation." And finally, number 1, Tyra Banks. Tyra Banks is another celebrity that had a cancellation during the pandemic. It happened when old clips from America's Next Top Model resurfaced, and she was called out for her harsh behavior. One specifically was a clip from 2006 where she tells Danielle Evans that the gap in her teeth is not marketable, and she should close it to secure a CoverGirl contract. But then a few seasons later, she told someone to widen their gap. In response, Banks tweeted, "I've been seeing the posts about the insensitivity of some past America's Next Top Model moments, and I agree with you. Looking back, those were some really off choices. Appreciate your honest feedback, and I'm sending so much love and virtual hugs." But since she didn't actually address any of the shady behavior in that apology, people thought it was more so just a cop-out. Alright everyone, that's all for the video. Let me know what you're thinking down below. Were there any that I missed, or who was the worst? Obviously the Ellen one was pretty interesting. I remember when I first made a video on it, I didn't think that Ellen's apology was all that bad. I thought that some parts of it were good, but then other people kind of criticized it, and I was like, wow, there was a lot more holes in Ellen's apology than I earlier thought. Also, she was wearing white in the apology, which is like a known thing. If you want to look good in an apology video, look like wholesome, you wear white. So that's who I thought was the worst. Let me know your thoughts on who you thought was the worst below.